So I've had Iuno about a week now. I've finally gotten her to a decent enough build. I think. I will say the rant again. The more that new characters focus on the Nightmare Nest to grind echoes, the more agitated and annoyed I am getting at Wooer lately. I really think they got to revamp this to get some more XP and tuners. It's brutal, man. Ever since this is released, my motivation to play and grind units has been just way more down than ever before this year. So I really hope the live stream this week hopefully addresses this. And anyway, I know I ranted about this in the Augusta video. I do apologize. So rant aside, I know I've spoken on that before, but Iuno, back to the stunning moon goddess herself. So how is she? Is she fun to use? Is she strong? Is she versatile? Is she worth the summons? How are her buffs, her smooth rotations? Okay, I will admit, I did personally vertically invest in Iuno a little bit more after my last summons video, partly because I was bored and depressed, but sadly it also cost me $100 just so I could lose to Encore S3, so that's just fantastic. But with that and corals from the shop, I now have her S2, and it makes a fairly major difference in power. So in today's video, I just want to go over my thoughts on Iuno now that I've had her for about a week. Is she worth it? My impressions of her so far. Worth noting, I still haven't fully finished the latest MSQ patch involving her either, which I'll hopefully get to later after this video releases. But before we get too far into the video, as always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord to chat to the community there, or just become a member of the channel for $2 to support me directly to help keep me making videos. And without further ado, let's just jump into it, shall we? So here is the build that I'm currently rocking. It could use a little bit more energy regen, but to be honest, the S1 kind of negates that for the most part. The energy regen on the S1 is actually very underrated. You can basically pop the field and just regen your liberation wherever you are. It's very handy for overall content especially. The pieces aren't perfect just yet, but like she's got strong stats overall so far. I'm happy with what it is at the very least for now, along with just like a strong shorekeeper backing her up. She absolutely rocks being a main DPS and sub DPS for me on my account. Like that's one thing that's surprised me the most about Iuno is her flexibility. Her rotations are very unique, and while I won't pretend like I fully understand all of them, because mashing buttons is a lot of fun, she does have several variations that allow you to intro into the field and outro very quickly, or at the least stay on the field for like various amounts of times, just depending on the team that you're running. That's another reason I actually spent money and corals to get her to S2. I found her so fun and different and unique, and that I actually just wanted to be on field with her more and more as like a pseudo main DPS, which absolutely works at this level of investment as well. Like opposed to just using her to buff, say, Augusta, which she does tenfold, don't get me wrong, it's like a broken team combination with Augusta and her having both signature weapons, but I really am just having a blast with Iuno as more of a carry than just a sub DPS and or a support. So she's also just easily one of the strongest sub DPSs. Like Brant held the crown before with his massive anchor bonk from his forte attack, but my gosh, Iuno's liberation hits like a freaking freight train, let alone her skill shots in her bow form. They're very strong as well. Like I am just really surprised at how strong Iuno is, considering she is meant to be more of like a sub DPS and Augusta buffer kind of first and foremost. Of course, I know what you're going to say. I get that higher levels of investment like mine definitely skew and change things, but I felt like this before I invested more into her, hence why I invested more into her in the first place. I've really enjoyed using her in Overworld. I can actually see her easily joining the ranks of like my Cardathea, Shorekeeper, Changli units as like very strong and fun Overworld units, just like with ease of use. They can fit into different team comps to just have fun, run around, explore, and tackle things. I always really enjoy units that have a level of self-sustain to them, or they don't really rely on something like their liberations to function to get most out of their power. Kind of like Zani. Zani, the more removed I am from her anniversary banner, the more convinced that she's actually been completely mishandled as a playable unit. Maybe a video topic one day in the future. Let me know down in the comment section. I did try Iuno on her quote-unquote best in slot team with Augusta. It's just broken BS. Like, I'm not really sure what to say. I've never really enjoyed the endgame content in Woowa specifically myself, but with this level of power and vertical investment I've gotten over the year for some teams or units on my account, nothing's exactly like a challenge anymore, or even if it was, it's not that fun to crack to me. And this team is just like another level of this insane level of power for my account, and that I just, let's be honest, I didn't really need, but I have now anyway. I've tried her in all kinds of random teams, to be honest. I tried her in a Cardathea dual DPS team, although I might have forgotten to add Chacona to the team for like a full mono Aero team now that I think about it. I tried Chun-Li just because Chun-Li's outro buffs liberation damage, and you guys know how much I like using Chun-Li, so any excuse to do so, I will find a way to slap her into a team. I did try her with the Zani and Phoebe comp. It took a little bit to get used to. It does work, but again, my account isn't exactly entirely relatable. My Zani is also S2 from the anniversary, so having all those extra dupes does kind of ruin things a lot. Still, like overall, the team did work fairly well, and it was strong and it was functional. Although again, another caveat, this Tower of Adversity is so heavy on the heavy attack buffs shilling, like that Zani and Phoebe also just get major advantage from that right now, so it's probably not the best showcase. I did try her as like a full-on main DPS with Shorekeeper and Chacona backing her up, and yeah, wow, like through all the different teams I tried, and this team as well specifically, her liberation just hits like absurd numbers. This character's ridiculous. She's so strong, she's so much more fun than I thought she'd be. I tried her in Whimpering Waste, although I don't really enjoy Weaver that much. I didn't try her solo DPS though, as I probably should have done. I probably would have got better results, but I did do the old Augusta Iuno comp. I got very high scores, cool, it was semi-fun, but Augusta just really isn't the best for Weaver because her liberation doesn't work all the time properly, spawning in enemies, and it kind of ruins runs. So even though adding the powerhouse that is Iuno doesn't change a lot outside of just some higher scores, but that comes mostly from like Iuno's personal damage. Overall though, like, am I happy that I summoned Iuno? Well, obviously. I went and chased her S1 and spent $100, and then I bought her S2 with corals. Like, I think she's got one of the best designs in Wuthering Waves. She is outstandingly beautiful. She has got legs and feet for days, brother man. She's got a pretty face, an absolute killer figure. She's got beautiful animations with her moon designs. Her bow is a lot of fun. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but it's a lot of fun. Her liberation's one of my favorites. I love the animations so much. She's got very unique gameplay combinations for a Chakram, Dancer, and Bow user style kind of combination. She has the ability to switch between on-field DPS, sub-DPS support. She has a lot of chances as well to like dodge enemy attacks because she moves around a lot in the air, especially as she's like jumping up and down between a different, like, you know, forms and stuff. Admittedly, it might have taken some time to get used to her initially. Once I understood how she worked, I did fall in love with her completely. And I went, yep, like, you are my next target for an S2. That's just how good you are, and that's how much fun I am having. This is also way before I find out more in the story patch that's been released too. Like, who knows how much more I will love her by then once I complete that. Meta-wise, she has some niche team options, like the ones that I've kind of tried on my personal account, that she can definitely work with, but she's clearly kind of an Augusta support first and foremost, especially at like a base S0 copy. Her sequence nodes and weapons don't really change much about her supporting capabilities either, which I do find a little odd. She has some minor buff increases for the team, I think in some of the sequences, but like overall, it's funny how she is so focused on her personal damage in all of her upgrades, including her signature weapon, that I'm kind of surprised, but that's just food for thought anyway. All in all, I love her. Like, for my account, she was more than worth the summoning for and investing vertically into, and I will continue to do so over the coming weeks and just try and min-max her build more and more with Augustas as well. But yeah, no, that pretty much wraps it up. So that's about it for today's video. If you have enjoyed Iuno, let me know what you have liked about using her in the comment section down below. Was she an upgrade for your account? Did she meet expectations? Did she feel like maybe she wasn't worth it? That all being said though, I'll leave the video there. So thank you so much for watching and or listening to me ramble. Hope you guys are having a fan-freaking-tastic rest of the day. And as always, my name is Mazzino, and you guys take care now.